They're saying a couple more days before we can go back up there, and we don't know nothing about our homes yet.
Laying out and passing the time, hoping there's news.
Lord, please keep us safe. Don't let us lose our homes.
Oh, this is so difficult to hear and to see. The Mosquito fire more than doubling in the last 24 hours. Evacuees wondering, will they have a home to go back to? Good morning. I'm Conchetta Callahan.
I'm Walt Gray. The fire comes on the 10th day of a record-breaking 100-plus heat wave, sending the valley into that triple-digit territory. ABC 10's Rob Carmark is going to have more on the weather forecast in just a minute. But first, the latest information coming into our newsroom this morning on the explosive Mosquito fire. And there it is, flames charring the ground near Forest Hill, where re-evacuation orders are in place. Left behind, you have ash and burning coals. What started this fire is under investigation. We're also learning now that PG&E submitted an electrical incident report to regulators for a tower near the Oxbow Reservoir where the fire started. So right now, caution tape is around the transmission tower. PG&E says so far they have observed no damage or abnormal conditions to that area.
Unfortunately, it's not just Forest Hill under evacuation this morning. New evacuations were ordered after the fire jumped the American River. This is a public safety map courtesy of the Placer County Sheriff's Office. The fire perimeter is highlighted in purple. Mandatory evacuations are there in the color red and evacuation warnings in yellow.
All right, well, let's share the numbers with you right now to the moment. The fire has grown to 13,700 acres. Containment is 0. It is now burning in both El Dorado and Placer counties. So this morning we are standing by at almost any moment now, waiting on new numbers to see if firefighters did make progress containing this fire overnight.
Yeah, we typically get our update around 7 o'clock, so in about half an hour. The steep terrain there and this extreme heat is not making it easy. ABC 10's Bridget Biorlo is live at the Placer County Fairgrounds where firefighters are set up. And what are you seeing now, Bridget? I see you've moved.
That's right, Conchetta. Earlier in the newscast, we showed you the fire map of the perimeter that we saw yesterday. This is the one for today. And as you can see, the fire perimeter has grown considerably since it jumped the American River yesterday and moved into areas west and south. We're joined by Josh Rubenstein. Thank you so much for joining us in these early hours. I mean, you can see just by looking at this map, the growth has been considerable. What are you seeing on the front lines?
We're saying the exact same things. I mean, this fire is extremely dynamic. It's doubled in size in the last 24 hours. In that, let me correct that, from about 6,700 acres to about 13,700 last night. And then we have a substantial growth moving forward. And we don't have exact numbers in as of yet, but we're expecting some significant numbers.
And tell me why that's happening. What are you dealing with challenges-wise when you're out there fighting these flames?
Well, these firefighters are dealing in very, very difficult conditions, very, very steep terrain. Some of it's very inaccessible. We're utilizing aircraft and troops on the ground when we can, as long as the aircraft is safe to fly, inversion layers, smoke, and all that kind of stuff. So it's a very, very challenging, very dynamic fire for them.
Very unpredictable. We have those hot temperatures, record-breaking this week. We also saw the steep terrain. It's jumping canyons, jumping the American River. Right. Talk about the accessibility again. You have to deal with bulldozers getting to these areas. How hard is it to get through to the fire areas?
It's an extreme challenge. The dozer operators, they're very, very experienced. This is not their first fire. They know what they're doing. They're working in conjunction with the division group supervisors. There's a distinct operational plan that's put into place every single morning. It's planned the day ahead of time. So everybody is playing off basically the same playbook.
And humidity is very low as well. One thing I want to talk about is the evacuation orders. We saw a number of places go into it. Volcanoville for one, Bottle Hill, Todd Valley as well. When people get those orders, why is it so important to heed the warnings and get out?
It's extremely important. Don't react, have a plan moving forward. So if you have an evacuation warning, if in fact you have some challenges from a mobility standpoint, I would actually heed those warnings and leave sooner. It puts a great deal of stress on the firefighters that are working on the ground to try and mitigate this problem if they also have to deal with people that are not evacuating, because that could potentially turn into a rescue. Now we're putting lives at jeopardy.
So get out fast and safely. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you stay safe out there.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to send it over to Rob for more on the conditions and what we're expecting weather-wise for today. Rob?
All right, thank you so much for that live update. And you know, if you've been in that area, it's 2-lane windy roads. They're not very wide. There's not a shoulder, so you got to get traffic in and out of there, so leave early if you can. We're starting off with smoke because now in Sacramento, which is the valley, and Truckee, which is about 5,500 feet up, we're seeing the same thing. Almost everybody is going to be dealing with some level of smoke today and for the rest of the day. So, folks, this is it's going to impact your health. The closer you get to the fire and the higher the concentration of the smoke really can impact your health. So the best advice is what we always tell you. You go indoors and you wait it out. If you smell smoke, that means you are indeed ingesting smoke, and that's when it's personally affecting you. Let's move on here to really where it's most concentrated, down to the valley floor, right around that transition zone between Auburn and Rockland. We also have Lincoln, Colfax. You start to move up to the hill, up and closer to where the fire is, and that's where we're seeing really thick smoke, as well as basically the whole Tahoe Basin. In between, we have no data, but just imagine it's roughly the same as well. Now, for some of you, you're seeing it overhead, but it's not at the ground level, so it is impacting you. It's making an orange hues. It's going to be a little bit dimmer today, if that makes any sense. But where does it go next? With the winds that start kicking in later on this afternoon, with more fire growth, more smoke, but most of it moves off to the east and then off to the north. So that's important. The other thing that's going to change with the wind is that it's going to start the cooling process down low at first. This is onshore wind, eventually higher humidity to where the fire is. This is where it's been most active on the east side, south side. Major evacuations mostly in this area yesterday. So we'll be watching the fire growth today. It's still going to be hot. It's still going to be dry through most of the day, and I'm expecting a lot of active fire and growth later on this afternoon before the cool down begins. Jordan?
Well, when Rob says lots of smoke in the Tahoe Basin, this is really shown right here. This is I-80 at Donner Summit. This is at 7,200 feet. You can see it's kind of looks like clouds up there, but that is smoke. And the further back you look, you can see some of those trees look like they're trapped in fog. Just a look at that smoke from that fire. And we've been talking about the closures this morning, the road closures that you can expect because of the Mosquito fire. Forest Hill Road is closed at I-80 in Auburn. This is in Placer County for the Mosquito fire. And here's a list of those road closures that you can expect today and for the foreseeable future. Westbound Forest Hill at Sugar Pine, Old Forest Hill at Highway 49, and Ponderosa Way at Forest Hill are just a few of those roads that are closed because of the Mosquito fire.